Hello everybody and welcome to the Null Zone. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. Sorry about yesterday. There seemed to be a problem with StreamYard and the Republic of Ireland because apparently everybody else was able to stream except those good folks over on this side of the pond. So I said I'd come on today and do this stream. Of course, I have to be very careful because it is YouTube, and I have to be careful how I speak about this topic. Because if you're a lefty twat, then obviously you can say whatever you want and spew your lies. But of course, when we speak facts on this channel or any other channel in regards to this issue, we are blacklisted or we are demonetized and all of this other rubbish. But for anybody that isn't aware, there was a report which I'll throw up on screen there now, so I don't have the camera on. Everything should run okay now, because I do believe StreamYard may have been glitching the last couple of weeks on me, and maybe that's why I've been having the technical issues that I've been having. So I may be okay in the future. So this came out yesterday, a report on specific trans youth. Hilary Cass on her review of gender identity services. Children are being used as a football. Also in this, the report, it discusses about the fact that trans and kids may not have the benefits that the cult have been informing people. So everybody like J.K. Rowling, Graham Linehan, all of those people that spoke out about this, including myself. Remember, I got some stick within the Doctor Who fandom of Crystal D and Ben Cook in relation to my stance on trans issues, especially when it got to do with kids. And the reason why I'm doing this and I'm asking the question, RTDs Doctor Who, in my opinion, is problematic now because he is pushing a trans message through his show. And with this report being released, I'm asking, should the BBC and now Disney is a different animal, but should the BBC or RTD now be forced to take out these kind of messages in a family TV show now that we know that trans and children is not beneficial according to this report? So that's what we're here to discuss. So I'd like people's opinion in the chat. I want to get as many opinions as I can. So, whatever your opinion is, I just want you for your own sake anyway, to be respectful when you're giving your opinion across. I will do this. So, the Cass review is written in a calmly clinical tone, but there are moments when her anger about the NHS England has cared for a generation of vulnerable children is barely disguised. Clinics have become fearful. The available evidence is poor. Her efforts to conduct a vital and comprehensive study into the outcomes of all 9,000 children and adolescents treated at the Tavistock and Portland Gender Identity Development Service clinic between 2009 and 2020 were thwarted. But she did her study anyway, and basically what happened is the left absolutely had a meltdown yesterday because all of their bullshit was revealed to be bullshit. And all I will say is on this, and I'm not going to go further into the report. You can read it. It's in the link description. You can decide for yourselves. But all I just want to say is yesterday I felt like a lot of people vindicated on my stance. As I said, if you're a grown-ass adult and you decide that you want to change gender, knock yourself, or change set, whatever, if you want to identify as whatever, knock yourself out, but leave the children alone, right? Leave the children alone. There is no evidence to back them up now. So, in saying that, let's talk about Doctor Who, because Doctor Who is now problematic, in my opinion, because we've already seen that RTD is pushing this message, right? And will continue to push the message because Yasmin Finney and other trans actors and actresses have been cast in Doctor Who. So RTD is not going to slow down on the messaging. But with this vital report being released, should now RTD be forced? And I don't care how much it costs. They've got Disney money anyway, right? Should the BBC now be forced and RTD be forced to take the messaging out of Doctor Who? And that's what I want to ask you guys. Should the trans message be allowed to continue in Doctor Who after this report came out? And that's what I want to ask you guys. So let me know what you guys think. You know where I stand on the whole issue. As I said, if you're a grown-ass adult, you knock yourself out. Whatever makes you happy. My whole argument has always been with trans and kids, but I've been called transphobic out there. I am far from transphobic. I have trans people that follow me on my X account anyway. You can go and check. They actually agree with me, right? They're of the belief as well, leave children alone. Let them develop and let them grow up. And then if they decide when they're an adult, when they're mature enough to make that decision for themselves, then they can knock themselves out. Until then, the bottom line is that society will judge and society knows best. It's as simple as that. And the majority of the population of this planet does not believe in this ideology anyway. So, Bobby D says, I didn't get a notification. Well, YouTube has been shown to me. Give you a laugh. I did the movie zone. Every movie zone that I do seems to be getting limited, right? And then I appeal it, and then I win, right? We don't even show the movie. The sound doesn't even come through because I wear the earphones. So there's nothing coming through except me watching the movie and talking about it and Chris in the chat, right? They've limited the last 3 movie streams that I've done, right? And I've won every appeal, right? They're messing with me channel, and I don't like it. Right, I should be free to discuss these things. I'm not saying anything bad, I'm not saying anything against trans people or the trans community, right? Talking about activists here. But I will say this in connection with Doctor Who. I say the tenants are absolutely devastated. And you know what? Couldn't have happened to 2 nicer people, to be quite honest with you. Absolutely disgraceful they are. Right, and we take a side and being the doctor, being a popular doctor. I'm talking about David Tennant, the man, and his wife. Right, they're disgusting. Right, they've been pushing this ideology along with a lot of other British movie stars and TV and soap stars. Remember that. Remember that. So Lindsay's in the chat as well. She says, hello, Noel. It's good to hear from you. Thank you very much. No, I wasn't just, that's what I knew. I knew it wasn't that to do with my channel because I checked my emails and I haven't been saying that in controversial. So I was like, if they've bleeding fucking got rid of me, man, I'll go bleed mental here. But when I saw there was no email, I knew it wasn't the channel. But then StreamYard, they eventually get around to it, but then StreamYard actually sent me a message to say that it was down in Ireland. The engineers were working on it, and in fairness to them, they did. They got it sorted anyway. Started with the 60th. Dial down the message, says Bobby. He did dial down the message, but will even dialing down the message now be good enough? That's the question. I do believe that Doctor Who is going to become problematic now. And there's going to be a lot of people now after this report. There's going to be complaints. There's going to be complaints now because the bottom line is the people that have been fighting this the last 6, 7 years have been vindicated. So now what's going to happen, and naturally is going to happen, those people are going to go after every single little thing that happens in the industry now, right? All of those comedians that turned on Graham Linehan, and all those actors and actresses and people that turned on J.K. Rowling. Listen, what's going to happen now is there's going to be sweet revenge. You know what I mean? The last 5 or 6 years, these activists have been doxing people. People have lost their jobs, right? Their careers have been ruined, right? All in the name of this ideology, which is dangerous to kids, and I'm sorry it is. And the startling thing is that even though this report has come out, activists have been on the other side of the argument, the ones that have been saying it's wrong, have been arguing all of these points for the last few years about the fact that we don't know enough to do this to kids, that we need to be very careful. There are long-term psychological problems, and of course, on top of that as well, there are physical damage, because you know it's not as easy as taking a tablet and there you go, hip hip hooray, you're a different gender. You know, you have to get surgery and all of that. A lot of these people should hang their heads in shame. What they have done to kids, and I've said this for years, right? What they've done to children is a crime against humanity. It's as simple as that. And every single one of them should be locked up for what they did. It's not needed in programs, especially on children's TV. We don't need reminding. Yes, it's happening. So many things in this world. My daughter has a trans in her class at primary school. She just accepted it. Nigel is here as well. Says, hi all, late to the party and chat. Well, we've only started 13 minutes ago, so it's not too, so you're not that late. But this is why now I believe that Doctor Who is problematic, because it's a family TV show, right? Families are going to be sitting around, okay, and watching this. See, RTD thinks by saying, "Oh, it's not a show for children anymore," that's a way that he's going to get around to spread the message. I'm sorry, mate, but the bottom line is that your message is wrong. Your message is wrong because the facts don't back up what you're trying to tell people. Right? I remember the character Yasmin Finney is playing, Rose, is a teenager. Right? So that's the point. Right? And Yasmin Finney is going to be appearing in Shooty's 4th season. Right? So he's clearly pushing the agenda, and now we know that it's wrong to be pushing this agenda on children. So people should be putting pressure on BBC, should be putting pressure on the showrunner, to be quite honest with you, because this is absolutely disgraceful. It should never have infiltrated the TV industry or the movie industry anyway. We didn't know enough about it. Right, and I can guarantee you, when further studies are done on this, listen, there's other studies in other countries that have been done by independent scientists and independent professionals out there, right? And the lefty lunatics have ignored all of the facts all of these years. The fact of the matter is that now, because there's been a pushback the last year, especially, right, the media is starting to talk about and giving it a bit more airtime. So now people at home for the first time are actually having this debate. You know what I mean? They're actually seeing the debate happening on TV. So the tide is turning, and the lefty lunatics don't like that. They don't like it now, because here's the thing: they've never had facts to back them up. Any report that they've cited, or any medical study that's done, is bought and paid for by an LGBTQ plus somewhere organization somewhere, right? They're not truly independent. These people that are coming out and spreading this nonsense are being paid off. It's as simple as that. right? But as I said, all of this evidence, there's been studies done in other countries which back this woman up, right? But the left have ignored it. And because the media were reluctant to talk about it just in case they were accused of being transphobic, now the media are actually starting in some areas, they're starting to grow a set of balls and actually talk about these issues. And I know there'll be, especially someone will alert a certain Mr. Teabag reviews about this stream. I really don't care. You know, at the end of the day, you know, that lunatic there has has backed this ideology as well, and he's been found out as well, just like the Tennants and every other fucking gobshite that's in this Doctor Who fandom that has been pushing this ideology on children. Shame on you! Shame on you, the whole lot of yous. From now on, what should happen is parents need, if you're going to be allowing your children to watch certain TV shows or certain movies, I would advise to do what our parents did back in the day. Our parents watched the movies first before they determined whether a movie was right for us to watch or not, right? And that's what parents need to go back. You need to go back to parenting your children, right? That means watching what they're consuming on social media, what they're consuming on TV. That's your job as a parent. Your job is to protect your child away from the evils in this world. We have Rihanna there just lately. She's done a whole thing where she's mocking Christians and mocking the Catholic faith. She's feeling her body up half naked in a nun's fucking costume. Like, this is the society that we're living in. It's all right to mock Christians, but you can't, and Catholics, but you can't mock any other religion, or you're hell to pay, right? You talk about these issues here, you're either with all these lunatics on the left, or you're a racist, bigot, homophobe, transphobic, whatever they want to throw at you. And it's finally the tide is turning. People are starting to cop onto all of this, say, hang on a minute, right? We used to debate these things back in the day, right? And this is what's going to continue to happen. Debates need to happen. It's the only way we get some context into the issue. We understand the issue a lot more, and then we can decide whether it's this, that, and the other. But as I said, for the last 7-8 years, there have been studies conducted, but the left have ignored them all. They've even doxed and went after people that have done some of these studies. So your woman, the first thing that's happened is obviously they've turned on her now, and they turned on JK and Graham and all of this, and all these other activists that were out saying that it was wrong. But your woman that's done the report, of course, is getting the usual hate and crap. And you know, this is from the side that's supposed to be tolerant, that's supposed to be kind and preaches to everybody to be kind. We got Chris Persia in the chat. As I said, just while you're here, I know we got a little chat on Twitter, just in case you didn't see it. So I'm moving the movies on till Sunday nights, because I think it'd be nice to end the weekend with a nice movie. So we'll do Beverly Hills Cop, isn't it? That's the movie. Yeah, so Beverly Hills Cop is the movie, but we're going to do a Sunday night instead. Nice chilled night. Instead of doing the Thursday nights. This is why I'm on now doing this live stream. Because, you know, we're going to do that on Saturday. We'll be back tomorrow for the usual panel with Cinnamon Toast and Brendan from the Sense Fair. And we will get into this topic. I'll give my opinion, of course, and then we'll get the lads if they want to talk about it. And also, you know, we will be talking about the Jinx Monsoon stuff, because I have been keeping an eye, don't you worry. So we will be discussing that tomorrow. So come and check that out. But the whole thing is now is that everything that I've said, and remember, this is why I got stick in this fandom. It wasn't just because I was criticizing Jodie Whittaker. A lot of you have been with me a long time and know that I've openly spoke out against trans and children, right? You know where I stood from day one. I've been an open book about it. I've never hidden the fact where I stand on it. As I said, and I'll repeat again to the people out there that keep accusing me of being transphobic. If you're an adult, right? If you're an adult, you can do whatever you want with your body. As you keep preaching to the world, it's your body, your choice, right? But a child, in my opinion, cannot make those life-altering decisions, right? This is the same movement that if you ask them if a child can drink alcohol, they'll say no. Can take drugs, say no. Illegal drugs, no. Right? Get a tattoo, will say no. Get an ear piercing or a nose piercing, no. But it's okay for a child to make the decision to alter their body forever. Absolutely not. It's ridiculous. It's lunatic behavior, and it's about time that there are people out there with a bit of fucking common sense and cop on that are actually looking into this whole issue and calling it out for what it is, right? And as I said, to all of those people in the Doctor Who fandom that openly support this movement and openly support the trans and the kids, you can get the fuck out of this fandom, right? You can get out. The damage you have done, the damage you have done is absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's a crime against humanity what's happened. And I'm telling you now, some of you people will see a jail cell. Most of those activists will see jail cells. Only time will catch up on all of them. And it's coming to Ireland as well, because there's things going on in this country around this issue as well. And we should have, I'm pretty sure we're going to have some reports coming out as well. And this whole thing is going to completely change, right? As I said, we will repeat again to any trans person out there that's an adult that's feeling fearful. Let me just tell you, you will get all the support that you need, emotional, whatever, right? But be under no illusion, right? We are concerned for you, for the children of this world, this society that have been affected by it. And just to let you know that nobody out there, because there's this rhetoric from the left and the activists especially that we hate trans people. Nobody hates us, right? The only time that we've been angry, listen, nobody had a problem with the trans issue before you start involving kids. Nobody had a problem with drag queens until they start involving kids. Okay? There was always a line that was going to be drawn somewhere, and unfortunately some of those activists, or the majority of them, cross that line. Right? And that's the bottom line. Now we'll deal with the issues in the future, and we'll deal with the issues with kids moving forward. But there's a mental health crisis that's unseen in my lifetime, and the pandemic screwed us all up, or a fake demic, whatever you want to call it, don't care. But the fact is that fucked up a lot of people as well. But there's a mental health crisis, and it was compounded by the pandemic. There's a mental health crisis in this world, and we haven't addressed it properly. And it's about time now that there are people speaking up, so we can eventually get to that point where we can help you all. Right? It's as simple as that. Nobody hates trans people, right? The hatred is towards the activists that push this ideology on children. So if you're a trans person out there, believe me, you have nothing to fear. It's the activists are the ones that are going to be locked up and the ones that are going to pay for their crimes. Okay? Yous are the guys that are innocent in all of this. Because the left wants you to think that we all hate trans people and that you have to be fearful, right? You don't have to be fearful. You have nothing to fear, okay? You have absolutely nothing to fear. It's the activists and all these doctors and surgeons that pushed all of this to make a few quid. they're the ones that are going to pay for their crimes, as I said. They're all going to see a jail cell. It's a crime against humanity. It's absolutely disgusting what they did to children. RTD needs to go, says Lindsay. I think that is absolutely the correct thing to say, right? Because getting back to Doctor Who and why we're talking about this, because he's been pushing that message in Doctor Who. RTD now needs to go. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He's pushing a dangerous ideology on children in a family TV show. And after that report, there's only one conclusion to come to. RTD must step down, the showrunner of Doctor Who, and the trans message that's pushed in Doctor Who needs to be edited out, or you start from, I don't care what you do, right? But that show should never see the light of day in its current form if it's pushing that message. Chris Persia also agrees. Yes, RTD definitely needs to go. He does. Truth Seeker says, I remember my parents watching Gremlins back in the day to determine whether I could watch it. Exactly, same here, mate. Same here. I remember even Alien and Aliens, and even at the scenes where they thought it was still too adult, they made us turn our heads or cover our eyes. I never got to see anything that my parents didn't want me to see. Simple as that. It's up to the parents. See, this is what's happened in society as well. And I notice as well, right, that when someone's kid does something wrong, right, the parents don't blame themselves. They blame society. Oh, society's fault. No, it's your fault. You raise your kid shitty. You didn't do your fucking job. Right? Simple as that. Right? You dragged your kid up. He turned out to be a scumbag. Simple as that. Right? And I'm not saying that if you show your child love and attention that they're going to turn out great, because even some kids out there have gotten all the love and attention and still are psycho. But, you know, that figure would be really, really low if parents just did their jobs properly and stop putting the blame or putting responsibility on schools and society, right? Because then when something goes wrong with their kid, they're like, I'm not your fault. It's society's fault. Hello, good morning, boy. YW2324. Welcome. So, yeah, RTD needs to go. He needs to resign ASAP. Also, you know, I would go as far as to say is I don't want to see any of the tenants anywhere near Doctor Who ever again. It's as simple as that. You know, he wears those little badges and those T-shirts. The little badge says, you're safe with me. You know, absolutely disgusting, right? Absolutely disgusting. Now we know for a fact that these children, right, that are pushed into this cult, it's not safe for them. So shame on you, tenant, and shame on your wife as well. Absolutely disgusting people, in my opinion. I couldn't watch anything over PG until I was 12, accidentally after the 12 certificate came into being. Yeah, same here, because PG was parental guidance, wasn't it? So even the companies were telling you, well, it's up to the parent. See, even back then, you were like, no, it's up to the parent. You know, now they've changed the classification. They take that away. I loved when it was PG parental guidance because, you know, if the parent then makes that choice, well, then it's on the parent. You know what I mean? Same with video games as well. You get a lot of these parents, oh, Fortnite is too violent. Well, you're the one that let your child play the fucking game. You didn't check the game before your child downloaded the game and start playing the game. Don't blame the company. I'm sick of these people that give out about games. Oh, games are too violent. Well, then don't be letting your kids play violent games. Because Grand Theft Auto is clearly over 18, right? But you allow your kids to play that game. So that's on you. It's not on the company. Lindsay says, yes, he shouldn't have come back. His doctor should have stayed in the past. Yeah, well, you know, look, normally what happens is after a report comes out, right, it's going to be obviously dissected over the next couple of weeks or so. But I will bring on, you know, I tried to get him on today, but it was such short notice that, you know, that I wasn't expecting a reply. But I will get him on at some stage to talk about this. But we'll bring on Lee, because as you know yourself, Lee has been, you know, has been a focal point for some activists and stuff in the fandom because of his stances on the whole issue. So he'd be a good person to bring on to discuss that. So we will. The PGs in the 80s actually were quite intense in places. I agree, but that's why it was always left to the parent. It was always left to the parent. So right. So I gather everybody is with me on this, but let's see. So if you think RTD should resign, please type yes in the chat right now. If you think RTD should resign ASAP, press type in yes. I'll throw it up on the screen. Let's see how many yeses. Obviously, if you believe he should stay, then you type no. So we got a yes from Nigel. We got a big yes from Chris. So 2 yeses so far. Let's see where everybody stands on this issue. Should RTD resign, folks? Truth Seeker also says yes. RTD should go. Totally lost his mind. Lindsay says yes. Yes. Let me see. What's this? Yes, someone tried cancelling YouTubers. I like all because they weren't exactly family friendly. Like monitor your children, don't blame others, etc. And of course, another yes, 100%. And I'm going to add to that as well. So I'll give you my vote in the chat there as well. There we go. There's mine. So, of course, it won't happen, folks. It'd be wishful thinking, but it's not going to happen. Because remember, this is the Americanized version of Doctor Who, and in America they've gone totally slow in the head over there. So you know, that's the way they look at it. Now, whether BBC should face sanctions or not if they push this message is another topic for another day. But I absolutely believe that they should be fined. I think it's the only way that you can actually put pressure on the BBC. Anytime there's a message pushed, that message is pushed on children in any TV show, BBC should face fines. Simple as that. And BBC can't afford to be facing fines, so they'd quickly change their bloody tune. Yeah, I'm actually pretty good today. Thank you very much. It's been a busy couple of weeks. You know, kind of caught up with me now. I have to say at the tail end of last week and this week, at the start of this week. But yeah, I'm revitalized, a lot of energy. So yeah, I'm good. After this stream now, I'm just going to chill with the missus because we've been so busy that we haven't had much time to sit together and have a bit of a laugh. So that's what we're going to do. This is why, this is why I like all TV shows. They don't have this message. Well, no. See, this is the thing. And all TV shows and movies did have messages in them. For example, right, TJ Hooker, right? I was on a binge watch a TJ Hooker, right? And there's messages in that galore, right? But the difference is that within all of the messaging, you had the drama, you had good writing. Now, whether you like William Shatner's acting in it or not is besides the point. I actually thought it was a great TV show, right? It's one of the most underrated cop shows, I think, of its era, to be quite honest with you. But that was full of messaging. They did the whole racial thing in a, you know, in TJ Hooker, and it was done very well. See, that's the difference. They weren't pushing the message, but what they were doing was they were finding a clever way within the story to highlight it, right? But give you both sides of the coin, right? They didn't just give you their opinion as writers, right? They let the audience decide, right? And that's the difference with today. When they give you a message, they're forcing the message. They're like RTD. He has his personal beliefs and his stances, and we're going to see all of his personal beliefs and stances in the show. Now, that would be okay if he put in the counter argument to all of his beliefs and views. But he's not going to do that. It's going to be skewed one way, and that's the difference. That's the difference. So, you know, it's again, you know, when they see, this is why I'll always be smarter than the other side, because they always bring that up. Oh, well, there was messaging in the past. Yeah, there was, but I've explained why it was better. Star Trek did the same thing, right? Even Doctor Who in some stories did the same thing, right? But it gave you a balanced view of the issue. It gave you all sides of the argument. And as an audience, it was your job then to see what side you fell on, right? Simple as that, right? But they don't do that today. We need someone new who doesn't share RTD's views to make Doctor Who. Listen, we just need a sci-fi writer, right? We just need a team of sci-fi writers to write sci-fi. Simple as that. Do you know what? I'd even take at this stage now 2 seasons of individual stories, no connection whatsoever, no big fucking extravagant plot and subplot, right? Just each week a different story, each fucking week a different adventure, simple as fucking that, right? And sci-fi, but they won't do it. We're gonna get fucking High School Musical and Glee Doctor Who. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Doctor Who. What RTD originally wanted to do with Doctor Who, right? That's what we're going to get. We're going to get all the sugar-coated fluff, right, over the top. I mean, by the time you finish watching an episode of Doctor Who, you're going to be so full of sugar that you're going to be a diabetic and you're going to need to fucking go and get an injection. I know what happened yesterday, which it wasn't my computer, it was StreamYard. StreamYard was down in the Republic of Ireland. I have to work soon. Says YW2324. I missed the days when Doctor Who was entertaining and exciting to watch. Exactly. Those days are gone. Yeah, TJ Hooker. Gotta makes sense. Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show. The only thing that didn't actually make sense in that whole show was, and it annoyed me while I kept watching every episode. So TJ Hooker was a detective, but then his mate or something was shot. And then he decides that he doesn't want to be a detective anymore, but he's going to teach at the police academy instead with the young cadets. But every week he acted like a detective. He didn't act like a street copper. He acted like a proper detective in that show. It was the one thing that annoyed me about the show. It wouldn't have changed the show much if he was just a detective. But you know what? Back in those days, there were so many cop shows that they probably wanted to do it. You know, they wanted to do something different with it. But I did think that was a bit. That was the one thing that it made absolutely no sense in my opinion. Like, he didn't want to be a detective, didn't want to go back being a detective, but kept being a detective. But some of Shatner's acting in that, look, Shatner gets some stick, right? But some of his acting in that series was actually brilliant. It was actually top notch. I don't know why he gets stick. Seriously, man, he nearly had me crying in one episode. I haven't finished watching it. Yeah, TJ Hooker is great. Airwolf. You had the A-Team. You had Buck Rogers. I even loved the old Lost in Space, and then I loved the rebooted version as well. You know, and I'll defend the rebooted version, but I loved it. It was a different take on the show as well. And that's what, listen, again, you know, I was kind of thinking about this because apparently Hollywood's new thing is they're going to be they're thinking the way to save the industry is they're going to do a lot of remakes and sequels to old movies and stuff, and maybe with the TV shows as well. But you see, here's the thing. It's not going to save it. But you know what? Sometimes, you know, again, Total Recall is another example. Look at, I love the Schwarzenegger version. It's the ultimate version. You'll never beat it. But they did do a remake. Now, I liked the remake with Colin Farrell. But why do I like it? Because it was completely different to the original, right? They tried something new with them. They tried something new with it, right? Now, I know some fans hated it, but I actually liked that version of the movie. I will always love the original, and I still do love the original. You can't beat the original, and you never will beat the original Total Recall. I mean, you never will. But I did love the fact that they tried something different. So sometimes I don't mind when Hollywood gets an old franchise and they do something different with it. If you do something different with it, you're trying to refresh it. And I will always give kudos for them trying that. But when you're doing what they're doing and they're just going to do literally remakes and sequels, I mean, come on. It's not, as we keep saying, it's not even that hard to fix. All you need to do is start getting good writers in again. Star Trek was balanced and made you think. Chain of command, measure of a man, presented political concepts in a powerful way. Exactly. And Doctor Who did the same thing as well. Not as much as Star Trek did, but the bottom line is the messaging has been there ever since we watched TV and we've watched movies. See, this is what the other side don't understand, though. As you said yourself, it was always presented. They presented these concepts, right, in a clever way within the context of the story, and as you said, in some cases, a powerful way. Thank you for that. TJ Hooker was okay. I really like it, I have to say. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, there was a lot of cop shows out during that time period. I like TJ Hooker, and it stands out for me because it tried something different. I mean, I'm only nearly 24. Bits of these shows are still entertaining to me. I mean, listen, mate, I'm being honest with you, right? I envy people like yourself because you have a whole treasure trove of old TV shows and movies and a back catalogue which will never be beaten. Listen, we were spoiled. I'm not going to sit here and say we weren't. We were spoiled. We had the best of TV, and we also had the best of the movies, best music. I mean, we were spoiled for everything. We were spoiled for everything. And you know what? We literally took that for granted. You know? We literally take these things for granted. And you don't realise what you've lost until it's actually gone. And you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, I was looking at list of movies that they have out now, and I was like, Jesus Christ, there's these, even the covers for them look so bad. I'm like, and then I'm going in and reading the reviews, and everybody is saying the same thing. Oh, Hollywood needs to stop this nonsense. Hollywood this. But it's in every fucking review that I was going in. They're not listening. Shatner is one of life's characters, and in my opinion, an underrated actor. Anyone remember the Tech War TV series in the 90s? I don't actually. No, I'll imagine William Shatner as Sherlock Holmes in the 80s. Ah, oh, Jesus, no, I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, and the Mannix is awesome. Lost in Space is amazing. Shatner's face made the best Michael Myers mask. It did indeed. Got to be honest. Not a huge fan of the Halloween franchise, as you know. I've made it clear, like, but yeah, right. That first movie is still deadly, though. He did it for Halloween. Lindsay was here. I think Lindsay was here, yeah, because Lindsay asked if we could do it, and we did Halloween for Halloween. I actually enjoyed that movie. The first one. Not all remakes. Some are good. Some just ruin the original. I agree. That's what I'm saying. You don't always get it right, but we can't sit here and say that they haven't got it right before. You know, because they have. You know, it's just they choose not to now. The Running Man was my favourite film of his, says Lindsay. Yeah, my dad loves that movie for some weird reason. I don't know. It wasn't really. I mean, it's a good movie, but I like some of his other movies better. I got to be honest. No to the Running Man. The chat and all. Michael's in here causing all sorts of havoc. I love Star Trek. Seriously amazing. No to the he's no to the Running Man remake. The chat and all. Oh, you're saying to the you're saying it to us. Okay, yeah. I like Space 1999 was awesome. Absolutely. I've been watching some of those TV shows as well. Tech War was novels written by Shatner and adapted into a TV series. Only lasted one season and 4 TV movies. Shatner starred in it as well. Oh, well, of course he did. Well, I should check that out. The movie version of Lost in Space was all over the place. Yeah, I don't. See, I was all excited. I remember because I'm a huge Lost in Space fan. I love the original TV series. It went a bit shite near the end, got to be honest, actually. But you know what? Overall, I really did enjoy that TV show. You know, random person just shows up all the time, the same person. It was always nearly the same guest star or the set or a select few guest stars that used to star in the show. But I was really excited for this movie because Matt LeBlanc at the time he was very popular, and you know people did in general love all the casting choices. But by God, was that movie just absolutely fucking terrible. Terrible. I only watch it now for a laugh. It's one of those movies, when I do get into me Lost in Space buzz, I'll watch a few episodes of TV show, maybe watch a couple of the new episodes of the new series, and then, obviously, then I might whack that movie on, but just for a laugh now. Shatner is only a supporting character in the Tech War series. I'll check that out. Yeah, Gary Oldman is the best thing about that movie, I have to say. I mean, I did kind of like the twist that they did. Look, I mean, it should have been a lot better than what it was. But they made such a big deal about this movie because this is the problem. They haven't been able to successfully transfer that TV show into a movie. And that's the it's because what can you really do with it? Think about it logically, though. You know what I mean? Okay, so you can do it where they fly the Jupiter 1, then they crash on the planet. That's great, but then what for the whole movie? Like, do you know what I mean? It wouldn't work as a movie. It never would work as a movie. I don't know why. That's another thing as well. Hollywood do. Sometimes they do some of these TV shows and turn them into movies. That's it, Truth Seeker. That it just was the plot. The plot was crap. But that's what I'm saying, because why was it so bad? Well, I think it's so bad is because you cannot. I'm sorry, but people may disagree with me on this, but you cannot adapt that TV show into a movie. You just can't. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't. I mean, they crash on the planet. Then what? Then what? You know what I mean? It's not. It's not one of those. It's not one of those sci-fi or science fiction that you can turn into a movie, in my opinion. Unless you took one of the old stories, right? There's one story in particular where Will Robinson goes back to the past, right? There's an episode where he goes through this fucking portal or something, and he ends up back in the past. Now, if they did something like that with it, you'd probably get away with it. But the Lost in Space storyline is basic. Its family crashes on this fucking mysterious planet, tries to get off, it can't get off, and then every week a fucking new alien shows up. I mean, it's not fucking, you know what I mean? So, it's just, yeah. But back to RTD and Doctor Who for a second, and Disney. This is not good for them. It's certainly not good for RTD now, because I do believe there will be pressure. And remember the first 2 seasons, or the second season, nearly in the can, or it is in the can. So there's 2 seasons in the can, right? So if it's got this messaging throughout the 2 seasons, which I believe it does, because as I said, if you go to the casting list of people that he's cast for the show, there's more than Yasmin Finney, right? There's more trans actors in the show, right? So he's clearly pushing a message, right? And he's pushing drag queens as well, as you know, because we got the Jinx Monsoon, which we'll be talking about tomorrow, and the whole thing. Fans coming up with their theories now, but in fairness, channels like mine, I've had people in the chat and I guess have actually speculated all of this anyway, from Jinx Monsoon being the master, or the Rani or whoever. We've all speculated, but apparently speculation has gone into overdrive because Jinx Monsoon's character has been revealed, and we will talk about that with Brendan from the Sensphere and Cinnamon Toast Crunch tomorrow. So tune in for that. We are nearly wrapping up now. We were coming up to the hour mark, but this is a great day, or yesterday was a great day for the children in the UK, and hopefully other countries now, and other professionals out there are not scared to speak up anymore and come out and expose all of this for what it is. And the people out there that are being opportunistic and made money out of these poor children, should face jail time, in my opinion. And, you know, as I said, I believe it's a crime against humanity. I've always said it, you know, as I said, and I'll make this final point and I'll make it clear one last time. If you're an adult, you could choose. It's your body, your choice. But a child can't make that choice, in my opinion. And I think we've been vindicated anyway. There's no way that a child can make life-altering decisions like that. And anybody that says so, there's something wrong with you. It's as simple as that. And I have no qualms of saying that there's something wrong with you. So, you know, you want to cop onto ourselves now, because the lies and the deceit and the stupidity is being seen for what it is, and that's exactly what it is, folks. And I would say to you all, you know, say a prayer for all of those little children and all of those teenagers that have been affected already by this. And, you know, unfortunately, some of them have made those life-altering decisions on their bodies and their welfare. And it's thanks to the activists out there, the activist mummies and daddies, and all of these other activists in this fucking cult. Absolutely disgraceful. Well, it's a member stream tomorrow, but I will come on here briefly for about a half an hour, do an afternoon stream. But I will. The other one is a member stream. So if you're a member, join me, Brandon, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch for that stream. And we will have, obviously, because I've been talking to the PD, and Charlotte will be back next week. Charlotte was coming on last night, but we had all of those technical difficulties, and I didn't even know that the chat and the stream was up because I removed it. So the glitch, so it was a weird glitch because I thought I'd removed that stream, and I was sitting here and I was like, I'm trying to get everything together, and I'm like, oh, Charlotte hasn't texted me yet to see why the stream isn't up. But then, like, she texted me, said, oh, the stream is up, everybody's in the chat, and I'm like, no, they're not. They can't be in the chat. Sure, I deleted it. But no, it was a weird glitch, all right. Okay. Just shouts was at the coming into me there. A bit of breaking news in the entertainment world for anybody out there that's interested, but it's just been announced that O.J. Simpson has passed away from cancer. And a lot of people grew up with his movies, of course. He was a football player as well, American football, I should say, make that clear. And then, of course, a lot of people would have known him for that car chase and that court case. And, you know, he's had some problems over the years as well. And he was on X actually quite a lot. And he had a lot of support from people, but he also had a lot of people that, you know, he put up videos of people calling him, you know what, because of what happened and all of that. But O.J. Simpson has passed away, whether he is care or not. It's just happened as we're on, so I might as well bring it up because obviously it's we do a Doctor Who and entertainment and stuff like that. So, you know, there you go. So hold on, actually, the Who shop, because it is in relation to all of this stuff that's been going on in the UK. So the Who shop have put out a statement, folks. So let's see what the Who shop has to say about this report. It says, it has come to our attention that yesterday, at the 10th of April, 2024, a conversation took place in store between a couple of members of staff, which was overheard by a customer on and posted on X, and it was responded to by the Who shop account in. Oh no, they've done something here. Right, so hold on. let's see. Chris, I said I'm doing them on Sundays now. We're gonna do the movie stream on Sundays from now on, because I think it'd be a good idea to end the week with a movie. So we're doing a Sunday night, so you don't have to worry whatever you have to. And John says it works out better for him the weekends as well, so he can join me. He's actually going to join us this Sunday. So I think Sundays will be better because it's the end of the week. And I think we used to do them Saturdays or Sundays back in the old day. So we got Sunday. But Jesus Christ, the leaky bleeding roof. I hope you get that fixed soon, mate. That's more important. That's more important, man. Just get that done. Hope everything works out. Right. So before we do leave the Who shop, so obviously something took place and there's a big hull of a balloon. So let's see what was said here. It has come to our attention that yesterday, the 10th of April 2024, a conversation took place in the store between a couple of members of staff, which was then overheard by a customer and posted on X, and it was responded to by the Who shop account in an unprofessional manner. As a business, we do not tolerate this kind of behavior. The conversation was unprofessional, unacceptable, and should never have taken place. The Who shop is meant to be a safe space for all, including the LGBTQ, here we go, community. This means that things like politics, personal opinions of any kind are left out the door. Well, that's fair enough. I agree with that. Anybody that works for you should keep their political opinions to themselves, because nobody wants to hear their political opinions. We're not there to actually hear people's political opinions. So I agree with you on that one. So I'll repeat that line again, that this means that things like politics, personal opinions of any kind are left out the door, which is fair enough. And we understand that we must do better. And in doing so, we are holding a meeting with those working in the store yesterday and the rest of the team regarding what happened, staff conduct, unacceptable behavior, and to make sure this never happens again. We would like to express our sincerest apologies to anyone who may have been affected. Now, this was on the same day as that report was released. So maybe what happened was the two staff members were obviously talking about the outcome of this report, and someone in the LGBTQ plus community heard what they had to say and didn't like what they had to say. Now the staff are being all hauled into a meeting, wasting money because someone's feelings were hurt. Now, I've had a bad experience with the Who shop, as you know. Cheryl tried to order me, couldn't get the first magazine, Doctor Who magazine, under RTD's new era because it was sold out everywhere here. So people in the Doctor Who fandom alerted me to the Who shop and said it was a great place to go get your magazine. So Cheryl went into their website and ordered a magazine for me, but she couldn't only order one magazine. She had to go and buy something else because obviously she was paying by card. You had to spend a certain amount of money in the shop. So she did that, and I never got me magazines. Right? And then when I spoke to staff about it, they were actually very unkind about the whole situation. Right? Even in emails to Cheryl, right, you were kind of getting snotty about it. So this is an issue with their staff anyway. Their staff come across as arrogant sods, and my experience with them wasn't great. And now they're wasting money, or the shop is going to be closed down for a while or whatever because they need to have a meeting because someone overheard a conversation, by the way, I was insulted. So if the shop is putting out a statement and apologising, then more fool on them, in my opinion. You shouldn't be apologising. That'd be like me saying, right, I'm in the Who shop, right, and I'm having a conversation to someone about the Nazis, and I say, oh, they're bad, right? And then someone who is for Palestine or whatever calls me a racist, right? Because I've come out against the old bad Germans, you know, who they all inspire to be now, right? And someone overhears that conversation, and then no, sorry, that's not the society that we live in. I don't care if your feelings were hurt because you heard something you didn't like. The bottom line is, if you feel that strongly about it, just don't shop in the shop anymore. Imagine going to the management and saying, here, listen, I heard your two staff talk about mashed potatoes. Well, I'm a boiled potato person and I was insulted by that. Okay, now we've done that. Anyway, if this stream is limited or demonetized in any way, just please like and share anyway. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think I've said anything that's bang out of order here. But, you know, YouTube are so sensitive nowadays that, you know, you yourselves, you know, they can cry into their cornflakes as well. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for the afternoon stream and then the evening stream. And then I'll see you on Sunday then for that movie stream if you're a member. So we leave it there for now, folks. I just want to thank you for all tuning in. And listen, guys, you know what I loved about yesterday? When I had me technical issues, I got a lot of messages and emails, believe it or not. I got a few emails off Peter as well. People worried. I'm wondering what was going on. Look, I really do appreciate it. It meant a lot, got to be honest, it did. But everything is good, as you can see. It was just a glitch with StreamYard. And I've noticed as well, we've been very, very, it looks like we've been very steady. There's been no glitches or anything, which is absolutely fantastic. So it might have been, do you know what, the last couple of weeks where we've been having technical issues, I think it might have been StreamYard and they only got around. So I think it's been a problem the last couple of weeks, which has manifested itself, and then obviously it culminated in the fact that I couldn't stream yesterday. So sorry that I couldn't do it, folks. You know, I really was looking forward to doing the stream yesterday, but there's nothing I can actually do if there's technical difficulties, you know. But you know, it does just to be aware, it does annoy me, and it does get on me wick when I can't stream, because I know you still be waiting. So thank you, for yesterday's patience, and thank you for your understanding. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, whatever it is, part of the world you're in, and we'll see you for the next one. See you later, folks. Have a good evening.